What's going on, everyone? So we got some interesting news here today, which I knew this was going to happen one day because I used to argue with certain fanboys back then, and they just didn't want to believe me. But this came from Nate the Hate, which we know he was spot on with the Nintendo Switch. So ever since that, he's had a huge following build up, and now people are taking what he said serious. He says the new rumor suggests Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7 Remake will be announced for the Xbox Series X and S soon. So that's good for people that are only in the Xbox world that never got to experience those games. I beat them all already, and I got the platinum on 16. You know what I mean? I beat Rebirth last year as well too. Phenomenal game. Enjoyed that. 7 Remake's good too. You guys are gonna love all of them. And the Xbox world, do not miss those games. And I wonder if Phil Spencer will make a deal to get it on Game Pass eventually to see how if the sales don't go good right at the start. But who knows? He might get it right off the bat, and they'll just take that paycheck to make sure they get that instant profit and then put it on sale. I don't know, but what we do know is that it's going to happen. But Sony did not want this to happen. We're going to get into that because there are some people that were mocking them for the longest and did not want it to happen at all, which I kind of found funny because, like I said before, I've been gaming for 32 years now, and back then when a good game was out, console wars were different back then. It was kind of like more professional, and it was between Sony and Sega. Not Sony and Sega, but Nintendo and Sega at first, right? And when like games were good, PS1 came a little bit after that. And you had this good game, right? The true competition and the community gamer war was between the players locally and in arcades. When you had this good game, you'd want to take it to your friend and you want him to enjoy it. You know what I mean? Or if he had this console, you'd want to go over to his house because you had the Nintendo, he had the Sega, right? They may have had the handheld too in Pokemon. And you just wanted to enjoy the good games that you probably couldn't get because you were a kid and you have no way to get that. You know what I mean? And that's what people wanted. The community was a lot more mature back then. Nowadays, people don't want people to have and experience a game because it's on a device they don't like. And I kind of think that idea is very stupid and immature. It's different when you want one company to win over the other, but you still want the others to be around because, in that sense, they make each other better. Um, but, an example of that is just some things Sony was trying to do, like right here, watch the post. This was like a little bit over a year ago. Sony has secured the Final Fantasy VII trilogy as a console exclusive. This was before Square decided that they can't do that anymore. Wouldn't the first two being exclusive essentially be a confirmation? I can't imagine a third installment of a trilogy being multi-platform if the first two are exclusive. There's a lot of people that wanted this, by the way. 363, 291, 657, but a lot more than that, obviously, too. Icon Era is another example because they hit on Xbox. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth director Hamaguchi says a lot of work on part three is done, but the development challenge will be implementing world travel in the Highwind. The trilogy is also confirmed to be a PlayStation console exclusive. This was back in March 6, 2024, but things changed very quick after that. And that was a Square Enix decision. You think Sony made that decision? No. Tides have changed hugely since that time, right? Going over here. As of now, Final Fantasy 16 is not coming to Xbox as part of a PS5 exclusive deal. This was a little bit later on during that year. However, Square Enix has confirmed plans to eventually bring the game to Xbox, though no specific release date has been announced, meaning it is likely to be ported to Xbox sometimes in the future, potentially in 2025. Obviously, this was said in 2024. You know what I mean? But if it was up to Sony, they would keep it there. Why wouldn't they? You know what I mean? Um, and This was Icon era, right? Square Enix confirms goal to bring Final Fantasy 16 to Xbox. Look at what they have to say about this. This is like pony bot land, by the way. So it won't be out till at least mid 2025 from the sounds of what. Wouldn't be surprised if Square are waiting for a Game Pass offer because they know the game will hardly sell on Xbox. I just think it will be compromised by Series S. It pushed PlayStation hard, has high PC specs, but they've learned a lot since then. Also, barely anyone on PC touched this unless it goes into Game Pass. How many on Xbox will even buy it? But the funny thing about that statement is that it's going to be going to the Switch too. Yeah, they'll be using the NVIDIA systems, which are better, but it's can run on the Series S because they're going to get it to run on Switch too. And they've learned a lot since then. The game wasn't even finished fully. The Xbox version is almost a waste of time. No. Unfortunately, it's not going to change the sales of the game. Boy, it's going to be fun to see them trying to run it on the Series S. But this is just icon errors. This is nothing new to me, right? We're gonna get back to this in a second. But let's go down and read this. As I said, credible leaker Nate the Hate has been spreading rumors about Final Fantasy 16 and 7 remake will be announced for Xbox sometimes this year. Um, so take a look at this. According to Nate the Hate, 16 will be announced, released on Xbox shortly. Not in the near future, but around the mid first half of 2025, around spring or late spring. 7 Remake is scheduled for later this year and Rebirth for 2026. 16, we can pull this up right here, is not presently planned for the Switch 2. The decision was taken to prioritize the 7 Remake and Rebirth. They want to get that out first because they feel like that would sell more. It doesn't mean 16 will not be coming there, but they're trying to prioritize that for the Switch 2. Which actually makes sense if you think about it. Square's trying to make more money, you know what I mean? And they're trying to be what I would like to call satisfied because the PlayStation 5 did not meet their expectations. So they're basically telling Sony we can't do this anymore. I mean, it's just not the PS1 days. Uh, so if we look over here, Nate the Hate, like I said, actually no, we don't even need to do that. He basically made it clear that Final Fantasy Remake will be announced for the Series X because, like I said, Sony wanted to make it a permanent deal, which says a lot about them. And there's people that wanted that, but that's not happening. So you think Square wants to pass up? As if it does come to Game Pass, which there's nothing wrong with that. You think they want to pass up that instant paycheck? They could give them 100 million for all of that, right? And they could still sell the copies that they're going to sell on there. And if they make a handheld Xbox 2, people want to get it for that. And then they'll make, 100 plus 200 million with the Switch 2. And then now Square is feeling like they're being satisfied. You know what I mean? And that's good to give them more money to make more IPs and keep the series going. This is not bad. What would have been bad is Sony's route. We already know they're making bad decisions to begin with, anyways, and they need a lot of turnarounds over there. So, yeah, we're going to have to change some things around here, right? You know what I mean? So my thing is that yeah, the series needs to expand, and these are great games, and they shouldn't just be getting only those sales. I think the same thing about the Xenoblade series. Hell, man, I wish that would sell more because I think it's just as good and better than Final Fantasy in certain ways. If you haven't played the Xenoblade series, I highly recommend doing that on the Nintendo Switch 2. If you didn't have Nintendo Switch 1, you will absolutely love it. If you love Final Fantasy, you love Dragon Quest, you're a JRPG lover, play the Xenoblade Chronicles series. You're going to be blown away. If you love that 90s magic, it's there. And they take it to another level that's different than Final Fantasy. But they're both great. But all in all, I want to see the Xbox community enjoy these 3 masterpieces right here because they're fantastic games. Obviously, 7 Remake and Rebirth, I would put ahead of 16, but 16 is still a good game. Um, and you could put a lot of time into it. I mean, I put almost 100 hours into it, just like I put 100 hours into Rebirth. And probably about 70 into Remake. And I'm looking forward to part 3. They do a fantastic job. So yeah, I mean, if you guys want to also play the game on like hard mode and do New Game Plus and all of that, you can do that. And you'll be able to put well over that into that. So they're pretty beefy and you're going to have a great time. So like, comment, subscribe, let me know what y'all think. Decided to get this out and let y'all know that it is coming for people who want to experience that because you got 14, right? They wanted to keep that locked too, but that didn't happen. And I don't know if people remember in the 360 days, Microsoft had the Final Fantasy games, right? And it had Final Fantasy 11. It's just that, some things happened. Money had it. But that's all over with now. Now it's time to move to multi-platform. See, it's not just Microsoft doing this, right? It's everybody realizing we want to be everywhere. It needs to be a unified release on all platforms. Any profit is better than no profit, even if it's sold 500K or a million. You know what I mean? That's still really good. So that's my take on that. But there we have it. Peace out, y'all. Look forward to these great games coming this year.